Hello, everybody, and welcome to episode 6 of the Go-To Podcast. Back with you once again, live from the Man-Child Studio in beautiful downtown Long Island, New York. Oh, it's been a week. Been a good week. Can't really complain, and I know you guys don't want to hear that, even if I wanted to complain. Well, I'm going to complain a little bit. I had a really good day today. We'll get into that. And we'll start with that first. Really awesome day today. We were celebrating the retirement of my good buddy RJ from the NYPD, and he had his retirement party at Sand City Brewery in the Lindenhurst, New York. If you're on Long Island, from Long Island, I would definitely go check out this place. It really is awesome. The beers there are great. I think it was called a Blueberry Crunch. It's a blueberry beer. It wasn't overpowering, so it wasn't like the fruit wasn't like an overpowering taste. Nice, subtle blueberry taste. Smelled very nice. Nice summery or spring kind of beer. I'm not a huge drinker. I do enjoy a beer now and then. So a brewery is right up my alley. The crew from Matador Cigars, that's the lounge I hang out, they were all there. So that was fun. We got to all hang out, and we brought our cigars. So we were outside smoking cigars, having a good time. And yeah, I spent most of the day there today. Really good day. The food was good. RJ had brought some food in. A couple of trays from Finn's Deli in Massapequa. Definitely go check that place out if you haven't. I hear the owner's brother is very classically handsome and very funny. If you haven't picked up on it, that's me. No, but seriously, the food's good there. Go check it out. And yeah, it was a good day. Hanging with friends, good drinks, good food. You know what? And I could hang out at breweries. That could be a go-to hangout for me if I'm allowed to sit outside and smoke a cigar and enjoy myself. Because, like I said, I do enjoy a nice beer, and I don't drink beer to get drunk because I don't like being drunk. That's one of the reasons why I stopped drinking around 30, and I didn't have a problem or anything. I just don't like that feeling of being drunk. So that was a no-go for me. And but I do enjoy a couple of beers now and then. And listen, it's nice to try out other places, nice to hang in other places, meet new people, I guess. That's what they say. I don't know about that. Um, so yeah, day went great. And now, after I left the brewery, I went to go pick up my food order at Target. I'm going to start cooking more this week, bringing my own food. It's just so expensive to keep eating out and stuff. That's what she said. But it really is. I mean, and it's just healthier to have food with me. And so I did a food shopping. I went and picked up my food from Target. And here, listen, I hate to complain and come across as a pain in the ass, but like, what? Don't ask things if that's not how you're gonna do it. That's my point. Like on the app, when you pick up something from Target and you're there, it allows you to click the window you want the stuff brought to. Okay, so I selected the driver's side because I can then put the bags the way I want them. And I know nothing's going to happen to the bags. Hold on. There's a reason why I'm saying this. Probably figured it out already. There's a cliffhanger here, I guess. I could take them, sort them, do what I got to do, and be on my merry way. They come walking towards the car, towards the driver's side, then just decide to go to the passenger side. And I never say anything. I always feel bad. Although I don't know why Excuse me. I don't know why I do. I mean, I yelled at the gas station attendant today for not giving me my, just let me sit there. The gas station down the block from me is a full serve station, and it left me sitting there for like 10 minutes while he was inside ringing somebody up. And I said to him, "Oh, you got me sitting here. What are you doing?" And he said that the customers that go inside the place are just as important. And I said, I agree. I said, but I was here first. I wasn't going to argue with the guy, but I already don't like them because sometimes they don't close my gas cap right, and then the check engine light comes on. I know I should just go pump my own gas, but it's literally down the block from my house. I was in a rush. I was on the way to the brewery this morning. I didn't want to go off the path. It was on the way there. Anyway, I digress. So I'm at Target. I go to the driver's side, and I'm like, I'll take it here. And I'm like, just hand them in. And they're putting them in willy-nilly, and things are not going the way I want it, and I'm already frustrated. So after they leave, I decide, okay, I'll move things around. And already the bags start breaking. They start ripping. And I'm like, let me just leave it. I'll do it when I get home. I get home, pull in the driveway, take the bags out, and I start arranging things, and the bags are just ripping. The bag my chicken was in, because of the condensation, went right through. So now my seat's wet with condensation, gross chicken juice condensation. I got to go to the car wash now and have a full cleaning. Bags are ripping everywhere. It's insane. Target used to, when you did a pickup, I'm not saying you have to give the cloth bags out. It's a lot of money. But can we go to a plastic bag at least? Something sturdy? Why do we go away from plastic bags? I know it's better for the environment, plastic, but you're killing trees, right? I mean, what hell are we dying on? Are we gonna kill trees, or we're gonna, the plastic? I mean, just give me something I can get my groceries into my house without it falling and breaking 800 times. So I was lucky. I had a cloth bag in the car for some reason. I think I brought it with my camping. It was just in the back seat. So I took that and I loaded stuff in. And I get all the bags. I actually had an extra Target bag in the car as well. So I took that and I swapped things out of the broken bag into this bag. And I go to lift it up and it's starting to break again. I'm like, these bags are so fucking Mooshad. These are the worst motherfucking bags I've ever seen in my life. And I'm sorry for cursing like that, but they are the worst. And it's not just Target. It's supermarkets. It's everywhere. Because they want you to buy those fucking canvas bags and better for the environment. No, it's better for their pocket because now you're buying another fucking thing at the store. Don't give me the guys of the environment. You really want to care about the environment? You'd hand out the bags because you probably pay a penny for them. Or double bag, plastic. My mother would come home from the supermarket, and because I didn't want to make 8 trips outside, she'd double bag it, the plastic bag on the outside. My fingers there. I have 8 bags on each hand. My fingers would be blue from cutting off the circulation. I'm carrying them in. They didn't break. Everything came in. And guess what? We didn't throw that away. We reused the bags. I took the plastic bags for my lunch. We used them around the house. If we ever needed anything, we had bags. You put it in the bathroom garbage, like the little next to the toilet. That's what's the plastic bag for. The paper bags you used again. Everything got used again. So don't tell me it's for the environment. We recycled all these bags 800 times over. I use the same plastic bag bringing my lunch back and forth all week long. If it doesn't break. What? It's still good. So don't tell me environment and recycling. The DiDomenicos are doing it back in the 90s. So they give you these Mooshad paper bags that couldn't hold a grape with a leaf on it. They break. And I live upstairs. My apartment is upstairs. Second level of the house. So now I got to carry this Michigas upstairs. And sure as shit, as soon as I'm starting to bring them up the stairs, the bags are breaking. And here comes the food out of the thing. So now I got to stop. I'm like organizing again. I'm pushing up. It was such a pain in the ass to get up the stairs with these bags without everything falling down. I got everything. I kicked it into the apartment. Nothing's got to be refrigerated, but it hasn't been frozen. So it's sitting there because afterwards I'm going to go make my lunch and everything. It's like I just got in. It's so frustrating. It really is. I don't know who makes these bags. I want to talk to the people who make these bags and how much time they put into it because it's not enough. Oh, man. I should have refilled my water. I'm thirsty. I'll do that afterwards. These thoughts are coming out of my head. I have bags too, but I know I may go into the store, do the, but you know what? It's just easier to, because first of all, when I do an online order, when I do like a Target online order, I spend less money. I get what I need for the week. I'm not when I wander around a store, things magically get in my cart that I don't need and that I shouldn't be eating. You know, it just things get in there that it shouldn't be in there. This is the essentials. This is what I need for the week. Everything for my meals, my lunch, my breakfast. It's right there. It's not a lot. Oh, I carry everything up and I'm aggravated now, and I'm like, I did. I like stages of getting in the house because after everything broke in the driveway, I had to sit in the car for like 2 seconds. I was like, oh my God, this is like, calm down. I brought everything around. And I was get up to say, I sat down and said, I'm like, just compose yourself. Because what I want to do is I want to take the bags and just rip them apart myself and just have everything, throw it and be like, F it. I'll get Dunkin' in the morning. I'm trying not to do that. I'm trying to eat a little better, trying to save money. So everything's getting expensive. Even a coffee. My coffee at Dunkin' Donuts is $4 and change. That's insane. So you know what I did? I did something for myself. Save a little money. I bought a desktop hot water heat boiler. Looks like a tube. And I have coffee at my desk. And I'll have coffee whenever I want. Nice hot coffee. I bought a thing of Folgers. Put it in. That's right. Kicking it old school. It's the best part of waking up. I got Folgers in your cup. There we go. How we doing? I'm just like so goddamn aggravated. I really am. It just aggravates me to no end, these bags. And it's everywhere you go. It really is. It's not just Target. It's every supermarket. What are we doing here? My brother went to the supermarket by his house and they charge you like 10 cents a bag. And he said he was double bagging. He didn't like, sir, it's 10 cents a bag. He goes, yeah. He goes, I'll give you $100 right now. He goes, I just don't want all the bags to break as I'm going into my house. It's not about the money. It's about to get the stuff into the house. Oh my God. So, but anyway, I got the stuff. We're good to go. I was aggravated. I was getting all like, crazy. Absolutely crazy. Absolutely crazy. Last week, I'll change the subject here. I was talking about the 80s movies and 90s movies and stuff like that. And I just got to me thinking this week about that time and how awesome it was and how much I loved the time frame I grew up. I think I was born the perfect time. I was born in 1979. I was a kid in the 80s. I was a teenager in the 90s. And I was in my 20s in the 2000s. Perfect time to grow up. I'm Gen X. I said I made the cut for Gen X, which is awesome. I'm not a millennial. I grew up in a time where there was just enough technology, but not enough to ruin your life. We were talking about social media last week and things like that. The internet was great. We had the internet. You go on the computer when you got home, AIM, chat it up. Cell phones were just starting to really become more popular, but you can go out and you were in the moment. You weren't always recording things for Instagram and TikTok and things like that. You were living in the moment. The 80s and 90s were the best time to be around, I think. And I miss it. I miss it a lot. And I saw something the other day. I was watching something and I was watching, I don't know if it was a show or something on TikTok, and the guy, it was from the 90s, and the guy was wearing skids. I don't know if anybody remembers skids, the pants. These pants were so comfortable. They were like skateboarding pants, but it was like pajama pants almost. But you wear these to school because it was in style. On the back, it had like the slippery and wet sign. It it was a big thing to have these pants. You were one of the cool kids, and they were comfortable. That's the thing too. We had comfort. Go to school in a hoodie and a pair of skids. You were living the life. And then I got to think the other favorite pair of pants I had from the 90s were Cavaricis. Probably more 80s into the 90s, but Cavaricis were the most comfortable pair of pants I have owned in my life. As far as like jeans or dress pants. They're like half jeans, half dress pants. So comfortable. They got to bring these back. I mean, why do they ever go out of style? Why do these things go out of style? They're phenomenal. I would wear these pants every day. Cavaricis. I remember when I first got my first pair of Cavaricis. It was like the greatest. It was one of the greatest. This is so funny. We were talking about this stuff like when you're a kid, and I guess I see my nephews too. Like when they get something that like it's popular and the other kids have them. But I got the Cavaricis. I remember we were at the Sunrise Mall, and we're in the store. My parents they were there, and I got a pair, and I tried them on. They fit, and I wore them to school the next day. And I was like, yeah, look at Cavaricis. It was awesome. And we were talking about actually because we were talking about Jordans, we were talking about the sneakers, Jordans. And I remember in sixth grade, Christmas 1990, I got my first pair of Jordans, and we figured out which ones they were. They were the Jordan 5. We found them online, and I remember like opening them up, and it was like they glowed. And it's crazy because they were more money now than I spent on my sneakers. They were more money then than I spent on my sneakers now. You know, it's one thing I'll say to my parents, we never went without. My parents always somehow managed to do it. We had everything we ever asked for and wanted. It's amazing how they did it. Because back then, you pay $100 for a pair of sneakers. It's a lot of money. And, you don't realize it when you're that age, the value of a dollar and what it takes to make that money. Now, I've been working, 20, I mean, full-time job now. I've been working, since I'm 23, 22, 23. It's like 25 years. You realize the value of a dollar. I always tell my nephew sometimes, like, you know how long I got to work to make that money? It's a lot. I said, your father too, your mother and father, they work very hard, and you don't realize when you're a kid because you're a kid, you just want the cool things. You just want, what all the other kids wearing. You want to be the part of the cool crew. But these things cost money. I mean, skids probably expensive. Cavaricis were expensive. I know Jordans are expensive. And it's funny now that, when you buy your own clothes and you buy your own sneakers, you don't really, I don't care. I'm not a sneaker guy. I got big meatloaf feet. I need a comfortable shoe. I've been wearing the Nike Monarch for years. I just buy new ones. Same shoe, new pair. Because it's the only one that wraps and fits on my meatloaf's nice and it's comfortable. I need a nice wide shoe. They call them the Air Dads because it's a dad shoe, but I don't care. I am, that's one of the greatest things about being in my 40s too that I like. I don't care anymore. I'm not trying to impress anybody. I'm not trying to, to show anybody I got style or this and that. I'm comfortable. I be comfortable. Hoodie, sweatpants, baseball hat, comfortable. That's what my 40s are about. And that's why I wish they bring back the Skids and the Cavaricis because I'd be comfortable. Oh, man. Talking about things from the 80s and 90s, I watched the Hulk Hogan documentary this week. Uh, talk about someone if you should go and watch something right now on Netflix. If you're a wrestling fan or not, you will like this. I thought Netflix did a phenomenal job with this documentary. Um, the way it was shot, the action shots, it just moved along very quickly, and you didn't lose interest, and you were you understood what was going on the whole time. And I kind of know a lot about the history already, being a big wrestling fan. And Hulk Hogan, when I was a kid, Hulk Hogan was the biggest thing ever. He was a superhero. He wasn't, and this is part of the documentary that it hits on is that, these guys, these wrestlers, and especially Hulk Hogan, when you're a kid, they're not human. They're superheroes. You don't realize that behind Hulk Hogan, there's a man, Terry Bollea. And he's a human. He's not perfect. He makes mistakes. He messes up. But we don't see that. All we saw growing up was, Hulk Hogan defending doing the right thing, defending America, his friends. And whenever he got down, he hulked up and he fought and he won that match and he was champion. But he did, and he said in his documentary, the message that he conveyed to people is still the message he conveyed to the day he died, was you say your prayers, you train, and you eat your vitamins. And it's kind of like John Cena's hustle, loyalty, and respect. And I got no problem with telling kids that to train, eat their vitamins, say their prayers. Nothing wrong with that. No matter, I'm not saying I'm not religious, but whatever religion you are, whatever you are, you know, if you're spiritual, whatever, doesn't hurt to just throw a thank you and an amen to whoever you worship, the man upstairs, woman upstairs, whatever you pray to, or a loved one that's passed, whatever. Just believe in something bigger than yourself. It's a good thing. And I watched the history of Hulk Hogan, and I thought I love that they had his ex-wife Linda, in it. And you saw a lot of the good times and bad times of their marriage and ups and downs, and you saw another side of Hulk. Like I said, you saw Terry, and it also covered the mistakes that he made as a man, some of the controversies he got into, some of the things he said. I don't agree with the things that he said. Um, it sucked at the time, and again, even as a grown up when that happened, you were like, yeah, Hulk rules, but Terry sucks. But everybody's human. And my office manager always says it perfect. She goes, I'm far from perfect, perfect from far, perfect by far. And, Hulk had, his mistakes, and whether you forgive him or not, that's up to you. It's your personally, the character of Hulk Hogan will always be bigger than life to me. Watching that again too, it was brought back to when I was a child. I had the Hulk Hogan jacket as a kid. I had shirts, I had toys, everything. He was, he was like, he was bigger than Santa Claus. You think about it as a kid. Hulk Hogan was the guy, and they showed his rise in WWF, then WWE, his switch over to WCW, the NWO gimmick, him coming back to WWE and his second act there. And then some of the bad things that happened in his life, and then his tragic death. And I just there's a 4-part documentary. It was absolutely fantastic. Go watch it. I enjoyed it a lot, and it made me sad. There's that expression, never meet your heroes. From behind the screen, they're they're bigger than life. You're watching Saturday morning. I watch wrestling. There's Hulk Hogan. He wasn't real. He was out of a comic book. But no, it was a real guy. And as you get older, you realize that, and you come to grips with it. But I'm telling you, Hulk Hogan's music hits still to this day. I'm 7 years old again. I remember from my 6th grade graduation, my parents got tickets at the Nassau Coliseum for a WWE show, or WWF back then. And the main event was Hulk Hogan versus the Warlord. And let me tell you something. That music hit. Hogan's music hit. That place erupted. And this is 1991, so it's out of the heyday of the 80s. But that place erupted. Hogan came down. We were standing on our chairs, and I remember seeing his finger in the air pointing. That's all I saw at first. So he climbed the ring. He had the championship belt on, the bandana, and he pointed at the world. It was awesome. Got in the ring and did the typical Hogan gimmick where he's getting beat up, and then all of a sudden he hulks up, and he's, the Hulkamaniacs are behind him, and he slams the Warlord, drops the leg, gets the pin. It was awesome. It was fantastic. It was amazing, and that's one of the best memories I have from being a kid. Seeing Hulk Hogan wrestle, and I got to see him later on in life too when he was with the NWO and WCW. It was pretty cool. I remember when I went to the WCW show. This is now because when we were a kid, it was a big deal when the house shows would come around because they didn't come around often. There wasn't a lot of television. Pay-per-views 4 times a year. So to see these wrestlers was it was amazing. And I remember going to WCW Nitro at the Coliseum. I was probably 18, 19 years old. Went with some of my friends. We had really good seats. We were right above the floor seats, that next section up, and we were looking right into the ring. And I'm looking in the ring, and it's Hulk Hogan, it's Macho Man, Kevin Nash, Sting, Lex Luger. It was like NWO versus the Wolfpack. And I'm looking at these guys that you'd be lucky if you saw 2 of them at a house show. And here they all are in the ring, and it was awesome. It was nostalgia. But anyway, I gotta say, you don't have to be a wrestling fan to enjoy this Hulk Hogan documentary. It really was great, and I recommend checking it out. It's just like I said, sad how it all ended for him. His last public appearance at WWE got booed out of the building. And controversial stuff. He said some things that maybe he definitely shouldn't have said. And he had that speech at the Republican National Convention. So there's half your audience right there is gone. But I don't know. It was sad. And it definitely gone way too soon. But those guys, they put some beating on their bodies, and they go through so much with with the physicality, and then they drug use and alcohol. I mean, it's all documented in the documentary. You'll see. It's just no wonder what it's not surprised sometimes that they pass away sooner than expected, because of what they've been through in their lives. But anyway, go check the documentary out. It's awesome. Absolutely awesome. All right. I'll cover a couple more things here. Things that maybe bother me a little bit that I've noticed on social media. And maybe it's just me being a grumpy pants, or, me being just annoyed about everything. But there's a couple, I don't understand, like, listen, I get it. Your wedding day is the greatest day of your life, supposedly. I don't know. I was engaged twice, never made it to the altar. I I can't close a deal, supposedly. But after your wedding, if every picture that you post is from that wedding, and it's like now months to a year later, I think that's a little crazy. I think that's crazy. If every birthday post for a friend that you post is a picture of you and them at the wedding, there was no pictures before. That's the only time you ever saw them. Everything's from the wedding. Pictures of family, this and that. It's the wedding. Profile pictures from the wedding. I get it. You love your pictures. Great. Hang them up. I know people who are married that had beautiful weddings and they don't post that. And I think it's a lot of it is a show. Some people I think just wanted to get married. I think that's the highlight of that's what they wanted. I'm not saying they don't love their husband or wife, but the wedding was the thing. That was like their Super Bowl. And that's what they post. That's, when you go to these movie conventions, and, they have the pictures out from all their best, the movies they want you to remember them from. I think that's what these wedding pictures are from. Like, here, remember this? It's in the Godfather. It's like the people in the Godfather post. They'll sign pictures of them in the Godfather. That's what this is like. If you went to their, you know, they were at a convention, they have pictures of them at their wedding out, and you had to sign it. I get it. Yeah, you love your wedding, you had a good time, but it's a little overkill. What are you hiding? Nothing happened after the wedding you want to show anybody? You want to post? Nothing with you and your husband or wife that, interesting after the wedding? Just the wedding. That's it. Okay. I see it. I'm like, oh my God. It's like, what are we doing here? All right, it happened already. Good. That every picture you post has to be from the wedding. There are other things going on in your life that you can post. And you're like, hey, don't look at the thing. Sometimes I can't help it. You open the thing and there it is. I gotta be on social media. I gotta get the podcast out there. We gotta make some noise with it, right? Anyway, and another thing, I'm listening to these reels just on Instagram, and the vocal fry. Oh, it's like nails on a chalkboard. When people are like, they talk like this. Like, yeah, it's so important. I got coffee the other day and it was delicious. And it's like, oh my God, stop it. There's no reason to talk like that. Nobody talks like that. Nobody talks like this. It's like they drag on the last thing they said. Like, we're going to go here and get a coffee. And it just goes on forever. And you're like, oh, shut the fuck up. And listen, you men who are with women that do this, Godspeed. I don't know how you put up with it. Because I hear them in their reels and their posts. They talk to their husbands and boyfriends like this. I would be like, what the fuck are you doing? Talk normal. I don't know how you put up with that shit. I really don't. Jesus Christ. It's like, it's so annoying. You try to make yourself sound more important. It's like the Kardashians started all this shit too. They were the ones that started that. Your voice doesn't do that. You want a deeper voice? Listen, not everybody can have an olive oil voice like yours truly here, but that vocal fry makes me want to just take the phone and bash it against something sharp so I never have to hear it again. And I hear it more and more and more. And it's like, oh my God. And, it doesn't, it makes you think it makes you sound important. It doesn't. It makes you sound annoying, dumb. Stop it. I guess I'm in a mood today because of the bags and everything. I thought it'd be but that's what the go-to podcast is going to be. It's going to be me spewing about what I like and what I don't like, and what I see, what I hear. What I like is that, and also the Knicks made it to the second round of the playoffs. They kicked major ass the other night, and they got tomorrow night. They got the Sixers, game one. Yankees are kicking butt, so I'm happy on the sports front right now. That's all good. And yeah, we're just gonna have a good week. We're gonna, do the thing, and hopefully next week, we'll talk about some more positive things. I won't be as aggravated and annoyed. I'm sorry if it was if this episode came off that way. Anyway, I want to thank everybody who tuned in. I have links in this episode in my bio on Instagram, my link tree. I have a buy me coffee link to support the podcast, help keep the lights on. Anything you can give is much appreciated. Also, check out the podcast if you want to see the video. It's on YouTube over at the Go-To Pod on YouTube. And the podcast is always available on all podcast platforms. Definitely go check everything out. And please, on any platform, if you can, 5-star rate and review. Love to see it. Love to read it. Once again, thank you so much for tuning into episode 6. Have an awesome week, and I will talk to you later.